Good morning, everyone. My name is Viacheslav. My daily job is a researcher at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Today, I represent Ukinuki Corporation, currently a startup company with focus on reducing nuclear threat. I had received this nuclear strike alert back when I was attending graduate school in Hawaii. A lot of people panicked. One person was almost hit by a car. To be honest with you, I was terrified. Luckily, it was not an actual nuclear strike. Experiencing this firsthand drove home the importance and real possibility of nuclear threat. The nuclear threat is real and is often incredibly challenging to detect at the stage of transportation. Whether it is a dirty bomb or an actual device, how do we find special nuclear material? Well, these days, there are a few companies out there that can deliver a compact gamma ray imager. However, there is a problem with that approach. Most radiation detectors available on the market today are bulky, require trained personnel to operate, and most importantly, insensitive to directions of neutrons, a key indicator of special nuclear material. Modern nuclear weapons rely on plutonium. When transported, plutonium would likely be behind some large and sophisticated shield, so only neutrons could penetrate the shield while preserving directional information about the source. It is extremely difficult to detect neutrons and be able to sense the location where they came from. So we have built this pixelated detector, which is the size of an ukulele. The detection medium is a special plastic invented at LLNL. It is a game changer in radiation technology. Unlike other detectors, it is compact and low power. When neutrons interact in our detector, they have a different signature compared to ever-present gamma radiation. In other words, the detector sorts neutrons and gammas. So the pineapples go in one bucket, while papayas in the other. We have a series of papers and PhD theses in the publication pipeline since our landmark paper in 2019 was published. We call our detector Intelligent Segmented Autonomous Neutron Directional Detector, or ISAND. The final product is a directional neutron detector, so it can identify the location the radiation is coming from. We have demonstrated that it is possible to make this detector battery powered and be sensitive to the directionality of the neutrons. We envision the next step being to incorporate modern object identification technology available on mobile devices. The detector will be autonomous. Combining radiation sky map and visual feed is the key to ensure we can lower the number of false alarms. We will produce the world's first AI-powered compact neutron camera. So where this detector will be used? Primarily at border security and ports of entries, where often the time is limited and people cannot afford to have a high rate of false alarms. This technology, if implemented properly, would save millions of dollars and, most importantly, will prevent future nuclear disasters that will cost many human lives and billions of dollars. It would also be used by first responders, contamination control, nuclear power plants, hospitals, and in civil and space applications. It would be a detector anyone wants to have, whether it is for nuclear safety and security or fundamental research. The radiation market has been growing steadily, and it projected to grow 7% annually. Currently, global market is valued at $3 billion. Based on various reports, our estimate is that our company can address a 500 million market. The biggest portion of the market would be border security, law enforcement, and defense agencies. According to a recent survey by American Nuclear Society, the public now views nuclear energy positively, a very important sign in the shift of public opinion since Fukushima disaster in 2011. There is also the US strategy to make future nuclear power plants based on rather modest 100 megawatt reactors. These reactors require much less investment and decommissioning. What it means for radiation detection market, that there will be more customers willing to make the facility secure and safe. Spent fuel is another concern when it comes to both environmental safety and nuclear security. We are at the point where this technology is ready to leave the lab and be commercialized. What you see on the left is a current prototype. It is already mobile, scalable, low power, and directional. The plastic scintillator is a key part of the detector. The scintillator material was invented at LLNL. In terms of product line, we have a lineup of products for every budget. Starting with a detector as cheap as $30,000, a user would be able to locate sources with a modest dwell time. This would also be used for scenarios where distance between the detector and the potential threat is on the order of 10 meters. This is why we call it a short-range model. For vehicle-mounted devices and for nuclear facility monitoring, we would offer larger detectors, which could also be linked in autonomous network of detectors. People who operate our detector don't need to be experts in radiation detection. The key here is again to reduce the rate of false alarms and have less human non-expert intervention. Then we will also have a premium subscription for training and special purpose detectors. We have a formidable list of partners with whom we already established contacts. They all have interest in collaborating with us. Multiple companies can be used to make the same part in the detector. This mitigates the risk of using just one supplier. Many of these companies are well-known brands or are becoming such. With all these partners, we could ensure that we could deliver the final product. The projected sales are estimates, making a reasonable assumption that we would reach a pool of hundreds of customers. The first couple of years, we plan to apply for SBIR funds. Within a few years of inception, I foresee that the sales could grow as much as $10 million annually, and projected to grow at least 20% annually afterwards. This is based on my market analysis of similar companies. Our team is absolutely stellar. The company is structured as such that we have a senior advisory board. Dr. Stephen Daisley is an inventor and world expert in novel radiation detectors. Dr. Natalia Zaitseva is a world-renowned chemist and the inventor of the PSD plastic material. She's a recipient of numerous awards for her work on radiation detection. Professor Igor Jovanovich, world's renowned nuclear physicist and an expert in radiation detection. I'm the CEO of the company, have a PhD in physics. My PhD thesis was focused on developing compact radiation detectors, and I continue working in this area as a researcher at the lab. Dr. Felicia Sutanto is the CTO. Felicia has a strong background in radiation detection and is the mastermind behind the analysis algorithm that we use. Felicia holds a PhD degree in nuclear engineering and has received numerous awards for her research in the field of radiation detectors. Dr. Tim Klassen is the chief scientist. He's a co-recipient of the Breakthrough Prize for his work on a novel reactor anti-neutrino detector. Mr. Tim Wu is a chief engineer. Tim's PhD studies are focused on the ISEN detector. Cumulatively, we have more than 100 years worth of experience, hundreds of publications, and dozens of patents. Thank you for your attention. I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.